Hey guys, it's me, David. I'm your host, new season, new me. This is episode 4 with my dear friend, Tatyana. I've been a fan of her for, I think, 5 years now.
A while.
A while.
Yeah.
But I'm actually honored interviewing one of my favorite singers of all time right now. So let's start with breaking the ice. What's the capital city of Ecuador?
This would be really embarrassing if I did not know this. It's Quito.
All right. Second question would be, give me three singers with the letter P.
Let's start with the letter P.
Yes.
All right. I love Pia Mia. I listen to Post Malone, and my new favorite is Paloma Mami. So.
All right. And the last question of this millionaire contest would be.
Wait, do I get $1 million after this? That'd be nice.
The last one would be. What's the last one? Where are you right now?
I'm in Niagara Falls.
All right. So you got 3 out of 3. All right. So the questions that everybody wants to know about Tatyana is, talk to us about your disease that you had when you were 3 years old, when you were in Toronto.
Oh wow, that was such a long time ago. So basically what happened is that when I was 3 years old, I was diagnosed with a rare blood disease, and I don't know how it happened. All I remember is my parents telling me the story that they were really scared because they would take me to sick children's hospital. They were always there, and like I had like blood transfusions, I think that's what it's called. And basically my parents like were very scared, you know, because they thought they were gonna lose me, and like I was their firstborn, and at 3 years old, like having already like a blood disease was very scary for them. And my parents, like right now, they tell me the story, and I'm just very grateful. And I'm just very, very grateful because everybody that donated to the cause at that time, they were able to get like my treatments, and like we didn't have a lot of money back then. My parents were working like multiple jobs. They would take like the bus to come see me. I think one time my dad was doing like a cleaning job or something just to buy me like an Elmo, because I was obsessed with Elmo back then. And he bought it for me, and he surprised me at the hospital. These are memories like I don't remember, but these are things like my parents have told me. And so no, I'm very grateful. And because of that, I started like years later, when I was like 16 years old, I started a foundation that's called Jumpstart a Life.
Okay.
And what that does is like it raises money. We do concerts, and it raises money for like children with leukemia, which is like blood-related disease. And it's really because of that. It stems from me giving back to everybody now, because I wouldn't be here without the help of like the others who helped me when I had like my disease. So
I mean, that's a good point. I never knew about that.
Yeah.
I kind of read.
Many people don't know that, but I put it on my website so that people like can read about it, and then people ask me, and then I kind of go into it.
It's really good to know about that. The next question would be, I kind of read a little bit. I think you were 9 or 12. I don't know if I'm actually correct, but correct me if I'm wrong. But I know that you did a Christian album that's called Te Amo. Explain to us a little bit that. Okay, so explain to me a little bit of the album that you did when you were like 9 years old. That's called Te Amo. It's a Christian album. Explain to us a little bit. How was that experience? Because I know it was your first album as a Christian artist, right?
Yeah, that's actually really interesting because it all stemmed from. So I was 9 years old.
Okay.
That's a fact. And at 9 years old, I was living in Windsor, and we were really close with el pastor de la iglesia, like the pastor. And he did a sermon one time that really moved me, and I decided at 9 years old to get baptized. So at 9 years old, like I got baptized, and I felt like the spirit was like really in me. And right after that is when I decided, I'm like, okay, we're gonna do a Christian album, and I collaborated with one of the pastors he's from Grand Rapids, like from the States, and he was in our area. But it was a very nice experience because it was my very first time recording like a full length album.
Okay.
And it was really just me collaborating with the pastor, and he wrote the songs.
Okay.
He wrote all of the songs, and it's just it was fun. Like it was nice because it's like spiritual, and I loved what I was singing. But at the same time, it was fun because I'm like I knew nothing about recording or being in a studio, and we actually recorded it at my house.
Oh, nice.
And he brought all his equipment, and I started learning about the microphone, and then like that thing in front of the microphone, like to prevent the we called the sound. Yeah. He called it an anti.
Okay.
So it was like a really fun experience, and I'm just like really grateful because after that I just like loved recording and being in the studio and stuff like that. So.
Okay. So now here are the deep questions. One of the questions I want, one of the questions that I want to know is, what or who inspired you of who you are right now as a artist?
As an artist.
As an artist, like who inspired you?
Well, that's a very tricky question because it's been like multiple people. Like it wasn't just like one person, but the one that stands out really the most is Selena Quintanilla, because when I was doing like my Christian album and I was singing in church and whatnot, my dad actually introduced me to this amazing artist, which is Selena, and I was like so excited. I'm like, oh my God, she's amazing. Can we go see her? And he's like, no, she's actually like dead. And I was like, oh my God, like why? And then I watched the movie and I fell in love with her personality, with her smile, with her voice, with her performance. Like all of it was like so captivating to me, right? So, and at 9 years old, like you don't really know what you want to do with your life. But when I watched that movie, I was like, I want to be like her, right?
I think obviously for me, I watched Selena, the movie.
Did you cry? I always cry. It doesn't matter how many times I watch it, I always cry.
I think Selena is one of the, you could call it the person who actually broke that bridge for the Latinos.
Yeah.
Obviously you have like local artists like Romeo Santos, Pitbull, like all these artists who be thanking Selena because she's the one who broke that bridge for the Latinos, and now all you see Latinos are doing Spanish and English songs.
We live in a great generation now where the music is mixing and people are accepting the Latin culture and they're accepting our music, and I think it's beautiful because that's something I've always wanted to do. I didn't want to just stick to one genre. I always wanted to, because like what I say is like I'm a product of like two cultures, right? I am not just Ecuadorian, I'm not just Canadian, I'm literally both, right? Like so the music that I'm doing now, it like kind of reflects that, and we have to thank like icons and legends like Selena, and there's so many more too. Like it wasn't just her, and we're like just me as like a young artist now. I'm just super grateful for the things that she did, especially as a woman in that industry. It's beautiful.
Another question would be, who pretty much helped you out starting with the music industry? Because you're saying that your pastor helped you out, but who actually influenced you?
Oh, that's an easy question. That was my dad.
Okay.
Yeah, both my parents have actually been like very involved in my music and my whole journey, but my dad really was the one that kick-started it. I was always like a shy little girl, like shying away from everything. I was even nervous to even go up to like a McDonald's employee to ask for napkins. That's how bad it used to be. And I was like, I'm an introvert, right? So my dad kind of saw that and he was like, what can we do with this girl to help her socialize and help her get into the world? And he basically saw that I like to entertain people. So we built like a whole career around it, right? So him and my mom entered me in like a singing contest when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and that's where everything started. I started loving being on stage, and he's been with me like every step of the way, and same with my mom. Like both of them, like they've killed themselves like for me, my brother, my sister, like all of us. And I'm super grateful for both of them.
That's what I like to see, that like your parents are actually there for you. That's what I like. That parents are supportive of your dream. And now these days it's kind of hard because I understand that like we have our dreams, right? And sometimes we have people who don't
don't support.
doesn't support or who puts negative thoughts on you. And what I always see is the dreams that we have is like take out the negative stuff that people reflect on you and just put on the positive stuff, right? Because negative, it's gonna hurt us down, deep down, and it's gonna break us too. And well, for us, like obviously for us as Spanish people, I think like now we're actually, I think we could call it it's a new season for all of us because we are impacting the world too with music, painting, obviously. And there's a lot of things that I see that there's a lot of Latinos are doing a lot of big things, and I'm supportive. Like I support a lot of people. But here's another, could say it's a question, but what words do you want to inspire the young artists or young people coming along the way? Because as you could see, like people in high school, they don't even know what they want to do in life. Like what words do you want to tell them?
It's really interesting whenever people ask me like that question because every time it's really the same thing and it almost sounds cliche and what every artist says, but it's really just like continue to grow personally and grow in whatever it is that you do. So if you are an artist, like for the ones that want to become artists, it's like every day you gotta practice, you gotta put in your work. But at the same time, like you said, there's so many negative people that are like either against you or they don't believe in you. It's almost like you gotta take that energy, that negativity, and turn it into something beautiful and positive. If it affects you emotionally, you turn it into a song. If it affects you like so deeply and physically, like some people love to dance it out. Like that's how that's my stress reliever, right?
Yeah.
Music is my stress reliever. And basically for everybody that wants to pursue something, it's just continue pursuing it. Be nice. I always say be nice to people because you never know what somebody else is going through.
Yeah.
You never know, like you can't see somebody's thoughts, right? You can only talk to people and like just be nice, spread positivity. Like anything that you do is just be positive and have like a great perspective on life.
Yeah, I noticed that one of my favorite singer would be, he's a pastor too, his name is Marco Sweet. He actually, what he always says is, your excellence shines on people. So when I heard that, I'm like, wow, it actually does come true because it does. Because if you actually do excellent in your job, then everybody will be like impact, and they'll be like, wow, why is he so different? And I think there's some things that our parents teach us is the basic things. Please, thank you, good morning.
Smile, like a smile goes like such a long way. I've had instances where like I've had a really like bad week or a bad day and somebody just like is really nice to me and it just like brightens your mood, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, that's a really good point. It's just, and another thing is like do what you love to do, because if you're doing something for somebody else, like or their dreams, you're trying to fulfill somebody else's dreams, you're not going to be passionate about it. Like I see so many people going to work their 9 to 5s and they're so miserable. It's still taking me like a long journey to find out what it is I really love to do. But once you find it, it's like you gotta continue doing it.
Alright guys, this was episode 4 with Tatyana, and stay tuned for my next episode, new season, new me.